Hi guys, it's a May. So it's a new contest starting for the entire month for everybody who comes to Facebook, joins, follows me, shares, comments, interacts, as well as on YouTube. It's counting each time you do it as one entry. So I'm going to give at the end of the month 3 20-minute readings. For those of you who want to know if you won, check the Facebook. I have announced 3 winners today for the month of April, pardon me. Okay, so let's start with the X spread. Hi guys, here is my X spread, and for those of you who know the significators, please look at the timestamp and you can just really go right into the reading. For those who are the first ones here or who still want to understand how am I making this actually work, just listen the explanation, and here it is. I have created a spread. It is known Cat Tarot Knows X spread, but it's also applicable for on and off relationships, and even to kind of like figure out the feelings and intricacies of your relationship. Why? Because I have actually used 7 categories, and 7, right? It's a kind of like really magic spiritual number, and also the entire spread numerologically adds up to 3. 3 is like that card of union of Trinity. So it is something that can kind of like raise from the ashes, right? So I'm just trying to figure out what can work, what cannot work. As I say in my private readings, you have to understand that not all relationships are meant to be. Like when you get together with someone, everything is really nice in the beginning. We want to charm, we want to be our best, but sort of like that enthusiasm maybe kind of like falls off with time. People get sidetracked, people meet other people. So one category here that I'm exploring, the very first one, is the Magician. So in tarot, Magician is a number 1. So of course it means, is this a go? Can this relationship ever be a starter? So what is Magician doing? Magician is somebody who comes to work and he goes, okay, let me crack my fingers and I'm going to start working. What do I need to do today? Wow. And there is a task, it's a little project list, and then he starts to manifest. So it's a start before the start. So what does he want to manifest? Look at the difference. He kind of like wants to use all the available tools, right? You see all of these tools here are now floating. They're activated. So I really want to see what is in this category. This category is going to tell me if you guys had all the ingredients to make a relationship. What in this category you have? Love, devotion, family, kind of like sharing. Then I say, yeah, like really good ground. Like there is like a great foundation for this. But what if you have, let's say, love and then lack of reputation or lack of family or jealousy? Then obviously, that's going to have issues. Sometimes it's just like downward negative. So the things that are supposed to help you are just basically things that are tearing you apart. And sometimes you have all but one element, and that one element seems to be important. It is like having 4 tires for a car and have an engine and have windshield and have all the other windows. Name it, rename it, and the key is there. And you start with a key, you try to crack it, and you realize, whoa, I don't have a gas. So you're not going anywhere with there. So this is why sometimes we feel that the one night stand was like more promising than it was, and it wasn't. It actually haven't ever been there. Maybe at the time and place it seemed kind of important, and it hasn't been important in a global kind of like scheme of things. And we as women, especially women, and even some more romantic men, and I would tend to think that these are the men who are actually coming to these tarot sessions with me. They're like lesser percentage, but there's still 25% of men over here. And I think these are quality men, and I wish that they actually speak up a little bit more, because people who connect with tarot really want to find out the real answers, and they really want to be in touch, or not only with the others but with themselves. So this is the category number 1. Category number 2, I picked this angel. I think it's Michael, who is trying to, I think, in biblical terms, merge wine and water. Well, that's not a really big deal. But here in tarot, it's basically talking about trying to merge two different things. So, of course, in a relationship, there are two different people. And even if you get along, you still have your own intricacies that might not really fit properly, right? So, what's basically happening here is, okay, let's put this together. Let's create this passion. Let's create this growth. Let's create this like solid emotions that we can kind of like step in. However, I'm asking for this card to be reversed. Why? In this category, I want to find out what doesn't work. What kind of like has to be fixed in order for things to kind of really work out. You see, in this after tarot, this angel is kind of manifesting. You see, one is connecting with emotions, another one is connecting with the sky. So literally you're getting, I mean, I love you as the sky is high and I love you as the sea is deep. Kind of like everything, kind of universal. And it's like still this like beaming with reaction. So what basically we're going to find out here is like if things that you have to build are sort of unbridgeable, if they can be built. So then I'm taking Queen of Wands, forget the horoscope associations. Of course, when I do Golden Dawn readings, I have to take everything in account. But even at that point, I'm just trying to see more or less personalities. But here I'm looking at how we really want to be seen in a relationship. So that's a significator for one party, generally for ladies. And if there are two ladies, then I put two Queen of Wands. If there are two guys, I put two King of Wands. So don't get all upset that this kind of represents fire signs, because when we start dating, we are all fire. We all start with fire, right? And it's kind of like fun, it's passionate, we are outgoing, we are playful, we are going out. Even if you're homebody, you will go out. Even if you're recluse, you will go out. Even if, you generally are not very sexual, you'll still have sex. So this is talking about being a little bit different. This is our dating selves, right? So you see here, she has this like beautiful flower, right? And the kitty cat that is right now connecting to her. See, it's kind of like, okay, where do I move from here? Am I kind of staying in my element or not? So here is my communication card. I'm trying to figure out, so in this category here, pardon me, with Queen of Wands, I really want to see what your partner, how did your partner perceive you? So, right, like, I mean, you know that people are generally not really straightforward, and you can go as far as that they're not being honest. So they don't really tell you. They kind of tell you sort of medicated version or kind of sedated version of what they think. And kind of like they don't express generally things that they don't like. So you really don't know what the real opinion is. You just know what you heard. So this is basically telling us what your partner saw in you or how he saw you reacted. So kind of like get this perception they had from their side. Here with 8 of Wands, this is my communication card. With this card, I actually really want to see the intricacies of energies. So this can mean how did you communicate? This can mean how basically, how well do you mesh, right? So in this kind of like position here is showing, okay, are you firing back? Because these wands are falling back, the communication is coming your way. Are you communicating right back? And is this effective communication? So now this is a second significator, right? And this is also same thing. I picked a fire sign, basically significator, because the other person also wants to be seen as cool. This guy wants to be seen, oh my gosh, I'm so charismatic. She kind of like likes me, and I am her king, and kind of like they want to feel this way. You see, kind of like he here has the little salamander, kind of just making his little first step, and here he's holding the salamander basically in his palm. Salamanders basically signify fire. Interestingly enough, even though they kind of reside in the rain, long time ago, in like 13th, 14th centuries, when they were creating these cards, they just saw salamanders jumping out from the fireplaces because they were kind of like be around there, and they thought they were fire animals, and that's how they were actually connected in tarot to fire. So And then I took judgment. And judgment is literally for me to feel out how karmically you basically are reacting. Because I also do karma readings. And in karma readings, I can totally see if people are repeating certain patterns, if they're bringing them from the past lives, and that's my past life reading. And it's kind of like it's easier to understand what's happening. But in this reading, I cannot go in 20, 30, 40 minutes of that. So I'm just trying to get at least an overview. So judgment card is talking about a situation that has been evolving, and maybe it's even dead, but it's come back to be alive just for rendering this opinion. So this is more or less a cosmic judgment, a karma card, right? So here are the two phases of that, right? Here it is like, we are here. What? Have it been good or not good? Is it make it or break it time? And here it is, okay, some of you are just going to be dead, right? So your relationship shouldn't go forward, or it should go forward. And this is what karma is saying, right? So I know that we all want relationships, but sometimes it's also good to get closure. And lastly, I'm picking this card for once because this is that celebration card, moving to the next stage. Four corners being solidified. So now, some people say this is a marriage. It just means the next step. It could be reunion, it could be reconciliation, it could be just quality of your relationship. It's not lived happily ever after. Yeah, some of us have been brainwashed with that. You know, it should be called what it is, crap. And please, mothers, don't read these like bad stories to your kids, because if you look how those stories were in their original form, they were not kind or nice at all. So this is just basically saying, are you going to go to the next stage with this person? Because marriage, after all, is just the next stage. There are many marriages that are not working out because you're just starting to build from the scratch. So when I say sometimes in my readings, well, this one phase has to end, another one has to start. So this could mean you're going from dating to steady, from steady to engagement, from engagement, so and so forth, so on. So you see this kind of like movement in this phase is exactly that. You're going from the celebration, I say, okay, we are giving this a try. So in this category, I'm exploring how well you guys are going to do. So when I do all of these categories, then I sort of like look at the intricacies and how this works. So if category, which is supposed to be the glue, is just not forming the glue, no matter how much you want, you're going to fall apart. You can still stick together, hold on to each other like for dear life. It's not going to work out. And it's good to know. So guys, hopefully this is kind of more understanding the categories. Check it on my website as well if you want to see this video again. I'm going to post just a short clip there, but also explanation of each card is over there. And if you want to order this X spread, then you're getting energies that are just between the two of you, not these generic energies that I am actually explaining on my site. The difference is like here there are many people, and so basically some people are cross watchers and they bring their energy. So sure, it can give you some general opinion and you might see it here. Most of the time people do, but to get really the energy between 2 or 3 people, please contact me for a private reading. The prices are on my site, so visit me there at www.cattarot.ca. Thanks, love you. And guys, if you want your spread that is still on the special, it is $45. So please contact me. My information is in the description on the site, or go on my website www.cattarot.ca. Hi Gemini, this is your May X spread. So what I did, in addition to the explanation, if you didn't listen to it, please just like go and check what's going on, because these significators are explained. And what you hear behind me, I don't know if you hear it, this is like Safi and Matrix having a conversation. So I pulled from my old deck the cards that could be significator. Only thing somebody snatched my King of Wands, so I put Knight of Wands, which is still good because we want this passion, kind of charging ahead, especially when it comes to on and off and X spread. So let's see what's happening in the first week. The Sun reversed in your manifestation box. So something not manifesting, or the marriage, if you guys are married, that kind of like doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. What needs fixing? The conversation needs to take place. People and events that are not productive have to be cut off from this relationship, or the relationship needs to be cut off. How are you seen? Well, you're kind of seeing like as kind of person who is kind of holding his heart, but sort of happy, kind of like with decision that can be made over here. Communication. Kind of communication could be productive. It could be talking about a new start. It could be talking starting on a kind of firm ground on something that maybe for your sign is a little bit boring. This is like very earthy energy. It's sort of like, okay, let's see how we go day to day about this relationship and what kind of works, how can we build it. You're kind of more lofty sign with lofty ideas. Communication is really important to you. Queen of Swords could be kind of like your energy, and Queen of Swords here is like something that needs to be revived. Kind of like almost like feels like you kind of like felt stunned in this relationship of expressing yourself, or you feel that you can't express yourself. I don't know why. For some reason this is just like not happening, or maybe there is something else and you kind of got fed up. We'll see. How do they feel about themselves? Yeah, kind of like they kind of felt a little bit out there, being left in a cold, but sort of like they're getting out of that state. It could be also some financial difficulties that they've been going through recently, and this kind of card as well can talk about, okay, you know, I'm not with you just for money kind of a thing. Let's talk. Karmically, how is that relationship seen from the above? Well, now, Queen of Swords and King of Swords reversed. From above, that relationship had lots of manipulation elements, and this kind of talks about a couple that is no longer a couple. So I'm wondering if this really Queen of Swords here means cutting off this relationship, or cutting off something that has been really bad in this relationship. It could be that was a third party, it could be something hasn't been finished, you or them, but it looks like you're on stage number 9 and going from 9 to 1. So something maybe you're finishing in your life, if nothing else, the understanding of what has to be done. And let's see, as kind of reunions, yeah, it's kind of like still somebody's trying to get out, so it's another 4, but still kind of like not fully. Somebody kind of like went silent and needed help from the other people, kind of felt, and I think it's the partner that felt kind of a little bit misplaced, and it's sort of like really going deep in a retreat, and really it's probably exhausted, needs lots of rest. Second week, toolbox, again, the relationship is not going forward. So whose relationship is not going forward here? What needs to be remedied? So there is another person showing up, guys, and this is not you. So is that why your relationship is not going forward, or is it some other relationship is not going forward here? You're being seen as a making decision, or maybe you are the ones juggling the two here. So that could be actually seen this way, that you may be engaged with somebody and you still want this person around and you want to build it, and that's maybe why they felt out in the cold, they felt manipulated, and kind of like this kind of whole thing made them tired, or vice versa. So yeah, there is a third person definitely, and at this stage there is a communication about it that is like, feeling of a heartbreak, and they are expressing their passion. Like it could be an offer on the table. And here's the communication, like it's saying in a judgment in karma card, like, look, in this relationship it really takes to kind of clarify things, and that's kind of like here what was lacking, and now it's almost like demanding, and it's going to be the partner that's going to do that, because that's kind of like that fire energy coming down. But it might be communicated that the entire thing is kind of a burden, that it doesn't have the future, that you don't see what is in front of you, or you don't want to see what is in front of you, that you feel like you're tripping and it's just too hard. And it is a number 10, and number 10 is the number of kind of finishing the stage. So the third week, Wheel of Fortune. So this is kind of good, that in spite of things going kind of up and down, you might get a lucky break here. What needs to be fixed? Yeah, you see, now we have a queen, have a king, and we have a knight of swords. So I'm wondering if either you have a family that you're taking into account while making this decision, or your partner is in some kind of like situation that kind of is in between, and it might not be necessarily the third person involved, but it feels like that there are too many people, and it's certainly creating turmoil, and it's stopping the growth of your relationship. How are you seeing? See, the judgment is now coming here. You're saying, you know what, like, I mean, these things from the past are coming to the surface, and we have to talk about it. We have to see what kind of worked, what didn't work. Communication, see, but it's still the guarded energy, like really the heart chakra is connected, covered, and it's kind of like somebody is really into holding everything they have, possessions, and it could be that actually one person, it kind of like it gives off that feeling of that somebody is involved with somebody who is married, and hence, understanding ramifications of leaving the marriage are huge, and the person is like all of a sudden going, okay, I want to do it with you, but then I don't want it, like, oh my gosh, this is going to be tough, and then like, oh, this is going to have financial implications as well, and just like completely kind of like freaking out. So how are they seeing themselves? They're seeing themselves like you. Okay, so what Queen of Wands means here, like you have a Page of Wands, we have a Queen of Wands, like they still want to proceed with that. They kind of are the ones who are interested in this relationship. They kind of would like to find that language with you because you're opening this conversation, or this could be vice versa. But this kind of like feels trying to extend this nurturing energy, trying to ask you for a date. And again, there is a third person here. Again, karma is saying, warning, 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 warning. It's just like, honestly, it sounds to me like a complete disconnect. Like, I mean, one person talks here, one person talks here, and I have no clue how you even understand each other. Yeah, reunion, like, no, charging out. Like, people, what is going on here? Like, put it in your comments. Like, it's so hard to comprehend. Like, I mean, I do see situations, somebody has a situation, and I am almost tempted to think it's you, Libra, who is actually kind of like figuring around, do I really want to be with this partner, and saying, okay, I'm pretty happy on my own, and I kind of like have this status, and I don't know if I need this relationship, but kind of like I'm intrigued to find out what would happen if I do. And then like you just like find this doesn't work. Maybe this person is manipulative, maybe this person is kind of breaking your heart, but you still like the passion that kind of comes with it, kind of like the flavor of it. It's almost like your own reality, kind of like television over here. The last week, yeah, there goes Justice. So is somebody here going through divorce? Because like I have Justice, then I have Queen of Swords, the marriage, and some relationship is ending, or your relationship is ending, and this is kind of like ending as well. This is ending as well. Three parties. So let's see what needs to be glued. Like, you guys need to work on your patience. You are not having nourishing qualities or nurturing qualities. It's kind of, you are not able to give yourself there anymore. And this can also mean the wife. You kind of like are cutting yourself out of it. The communication, yeah, somebody's going to offer you romance, or it's going to be some kind of romantic exchange last week. And they're saying at this stage, okay, this one stage is finishing and we have to start in a new stage. And somebody really needs to spend some time alone to kind of like really go deep inside, to really figure out what they want. It's a number 9, and this is number 9. I think it is you. And that's why this whole energy is going up and down like this. Yep. And this is not moving ahead. Even though your partner or somebody here is saying, okay, let's move ahead. Passion is here, emotions are here, but like there is something probably from the past, because this 3 of Swords indicates something from the past coming to surface, and it's basically lingering there, and like you're trying to shake this off, or somebody's trying to shake it off all this time. It could be that there are just too many people in this relationship, and this can also indicate that. Or maybe both parties are having too many people. Like maybe you have somebody, maybe they have somebody on the side, and it's just becoming like unworkable. Oh my gosh, Gemini, what's going on? Please tell me in your comments. And also understand that this is just a general reading. Your private reading might be completely different. So if you want your private reading, please contact me. It's in the description below, my email, and you can check my website for various reading options, www.cattarot.ca. Thank you. Love you.